Hi everyone, this is Euan Thum and welcome to the Expansive Thoughts podcast. So today is gonna be a very different episode as well because I've got Patricia from the Better You podcast to collaborate on this episode again, and we also have Ying who has attended the post expedition podcast the other day. So I will just give them a minute to talk about themselves.
Hi everyone, it's Patricia. It's nice to have everyone here again.
Hello, I'm Ying, not associated to any podcast because I don't have a podcast, but I'm here I feel like just to join my friends to have some fun, to talk about some interesting topics.
Yeah, don't have a podcast now doesn't mean you won't have a podcast later.
Well, am I looking at starting a podcast? I'm not sure, but I feel like it's interesting to join your podcast.
Okay, cool. All right. So what are we doing today, Patricia?
So we've picked out 3 questions that we're going to talk about that revolves around childhood.
Yeah. So I think these 3 questions, these are the questions that we picked up from a card game. I think the card game is called Icebreaker something. Icebreaker. So we picked up 3 questions and I think maybe intentionally we pick questions which are kind of related to childhood. Yeah. So
Looking forward.
looking forward. So how do you want to start with the first question?
Yeah, sure. Which one do you want to go first?
I think we can go with life. So just to share, these 3 questions, there's 3 categories to it. So it involves life, would you rather, and deep. So should we just go with life first and leave deep to the last?
That should be the last.
We do it gradually.
Gradually just building up, right?
Okay, so let's see. If it's life, it's actually when you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up? Okay, who wants to go first?
Ying, you okay?
I'm okay. I can go first.
Cool.
I feel like for me, at different phases of my life, I have like different ambitions, and I think when I was okay, let's start with when I was really really young, when I was really just a kid, maybe kindergarten time. Like I feel like I didn't really have an ambition, but it's just that because people around me, like my relatives and all, they observe me and think and thought I really love animals because I really like to read stories about animals and I watch movies about animals. So they thought like, oh, maybe one day I'll grow up to be a vet. But then at that time, maybe I didn't really understand what an ambition is as a kid. So it's just because like everyone has been telling me, oh, you can be a vet one day. So I also thought, oh yeah, being a vet sounds interesting. So I feel like that was my first ambition, so called. And then when I started to go to kindergarten, and that was when I am exposed to, let's say, other careers like being a teacher. So I feel like for most of us, there will be one point in life when we want to be teacher because that's like the first proper career that we're exposed to.
Also the most direct that you have come in touch with.
Yeah. So I think during my kindergarten time and also early primary school time, I really wanted to be a teacher. Yeah, and I feel like even if I think it lasted until mid primary school then I stopped wanting to be a teacher, and then I thought, oh, maybe I'm interested in going into law, so I wanted to be a lawyer. Yeah, and I feel like being a lawyer is like the longest, like the ambition that I held on for the longest. So it was until almost the end of high school. I was quite certain like, oh, I'm gonna study law. I'm gonna try to become a lawyer one day. And then but I'm not a lawyer now. So I don't know why. So because like I feel like at the time when I say I wanted to study law, I wanted to become a lawyer, like I'm not sure if I really think about like what being a lawyer means. Like, is it a suitable profession for me? And like, is it really what I want to do? So then somehow at the time after high school, I was applying for scholarship to study in university. So, and then during the scholarship application, we have to put like first choice and second choice. So initially I put, of course, law as my first choice. And then second choice, I put economics. And then, yeah, but right before I submitted my application, then I suddenly realized, I mean, it's not like realized, but I suddenly feel like maybe I should switch it around.
It's like an awakening.
Yeah. So it's like, I feel like I cannot explain why I made that decision that time, but it was really at the last moment before I submitted my scholarship application that I decided, oh, maybe I should put economics as the first choice and law as the second choice. Then that was why I ended up studying economics, and until now, I did an economic degree. But looking back, I feel like that was the right choice though. I cannot imagine like if I actually went on to study law, and I feel like now looking back, that was probably not suitable as a career for me. Yeah.
You wouldn't have met us also.
True. I mean, who knows? We might still end up in the same university, just doing different course, but well, we might not be as close, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Patricia?
So for me, it's quite straightforward. Like, I think I've always wanted to be a pediatrician. So that's a child doctor when I was younger. Because I love kids. And I've always dreamt that. But I think when you grow older, you realize that there's so much that needs to be done to be a doctor.
Yeah.
And realistically speaking, I didn't take like a science stream or anything. I was more keen towards business. And that's why I took up economics. But if you ask me what my younger self wanted to be, it was a doctor, because I just love to interact with children and to try to impact lives. But I can say for a fact that I chose economics out of other business subjects because you being an economist, you can perhaps like inspire lives or impact lives indirectly through like public policies, or trying to make things better in someone's lives. So if I'm currently an accountant, but if I was an economist, it's probably public policy is something I'm interested in terms of the education sector. I did share in my previous podcast, if anyone's tuned in, I do want to start an NGO where it's an education NGO that will help younger people have the education. So hopefully I can reach that dream that ties me back to what I want to do in life. Okay, Euan, how about you?
Okay, first of all, really great sharing from the both of you. I think for me, maybe a bit more similar to what Ying's own experience was. So like when I was very young, so at different phases I've had different dreams and different ambitions. But when I was very young, I think the first job that I ever wanted to do was to be an artist, where I could draw and paint, and even though I was not like the most talented, but then like as a kid, I've always been so intrigued by people being able to do that.
Yeah, and you're still doing it now.
Yeah,
you just did a painting.
Yeah, but then at the same time, it's kind of like, how having born in an Asian family, the impression of artist as a job is always, is not the most profit making, and the appreciation towards art in a traditional conservative Asian family is always not really there. Underappreciated in so many ways. So artist is not always well regarded, to be honest. Yeah, but I think I slowly lost interest in that because I realized I don't have that kind of talent. Not so much on knowing. It doesn't pay much on this and that. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm slightly more artistic than a lot of people, but like still not to do that as a career, you see. Yeah, so when I was in my primary school, I actually wanted to be a teacher because I look up to the teachers. I love what they're doing. I see how, one person can bring a whole class together. I love that social engagement skills, that interactive, that energy. So I think that continued until even all the way to like secondary school. I've always enjoyed coaching, teaching my juniors and this and that. Even now, I still feel like I have a passion for like interaction with people, social engagement, and also bringing people together. Yeah, but that is not so much of like what I'm currently doing as a job, because like after secondary school, I was advised to look into different professions, and there were people who were advising me to take up things like dentistry or medicine, but and I was considering, and I was also considering the other path, which is more of the accounting and economics, so social science and business kind of route. And I managed to get myself a scholarship, and it was in economics. So in a way, it was kind of like, before I knew I got a scholarship, I actually went and prayed and say like, if you think I'm suitable for this path, just then give me the scholarship. It's a good sign from the universe that, maybe this might be a good path to walk. Yeah. And so I then pursued economics, but that was also because like I have done like 6 months of a short course on economics, and I thought like this is something that I find interesting and I feel like I could do it. Yeah. And then now I graduated with an economics degree, and I'm currently doing I'm doing something really related to econs itself, which is economic surveillance. And like what you say about like doing policy recommendations and all as an economist, actually that is what my department does. It's just that they do, the new structure at the moment is that the juniors will do more of the surveillance first. Then when they are a bit more experienced, then they will move them to do a bit more policy recommendations and research stuff, because you need a bit of experience with that technical experience first, so that you'll be able to appreciate how policies are formed.
And hands-on you can handle.
Yeah, so that's how, in terms of like career ambitions and stuff, that has changed so much.
Yeah, but now that you're actually in an economics profession, is it similar to what you expected when you were younger, or is it different?
I feel like when I was young, I didn't know what I didn't even know like the idea of economics exists. Yeah, so I think when we were younger, we are always very exposed to just a few kinds of job
Professions,
and especially in an Asian family, you're always like encouraged to do just that. For example, it's either going to be medicine or law, accounting or engineering. Anything else is less than, lessly regarded lah.
Yeah, they would say anything else is a disgrace to the family.
Yeah, and that's so unfair. And I feel like it shouldn't have been the case. It really shouldn't have been. There have been so many other professions out there that I now come to appreciate, because they play a part in our society, and they add colors to our world. They all play a role.
I feel like also because of that mindset, so I actually know a few people who went into those professions because their family has this mindset, so they don't necessarily like that profession, but because their family has this mindset, so they are kind of
living the parents' dreams instead of theirs.
I think so. So then now thinking back, I'm like, last time when I had this ambition of like becoming a lawyer, how much of it was shaped by that mindset, But then about becoming a doctor, I feel like I really admire that profession so much, and I really hope like, maybe I can be a doctor. But I feel like since a very young age, I kind of know I can't be a doctor. I mean, not because like I feel like I don't want to study for it, but because I think because I'm someone who gets affected by other people's emotion a lot. So I feel like being a doctor will be such an emotional experience for me. So it's going to be mentally tiring for me.
That's why I chose pediatrician. So dealing with kids, but I do feel you. I'm like that too.
But isn't it harder because
because you have
it's the kids that are suffering, then you hurt more.
Okay, well, maybe the idea of the pediatrician is like, looking at the kids coming in, like trying to cure them. But obviously in the real world, it's very different. Where if, let's say, things doesn't go well and you lose a child, that's a lot of like emotional impact. And I'm a feeler myself, so I can't.
I feel like doctor would definitely be one of my ambitions. If I'm not like so like a feeler, like you say.
Actually, in fact, a bit related to that, right? So I feel like nowadays I really want to push myself to like sometimes find myself opportunities where I can experience what people do. Like, a day in the life of something.
Do we have that? I would want like a day as a fireman. So cool,
You know,
right?
the closest you can get here is probably Kidzania, you know.
Yeah,
Kidzania.
that's what I thought too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do they have an adult version for that?
don't know. But like really sometimes like I think because my side passion is a bit more on like journalism. So I go around asking people about
Mm.
how they do their work and stuff. I feel like that's the closest to me understanding or
Their
like
job.
their job, you know, like
Mm.
what are the things that people don't know about it.
Mm.
Yeah. So I feel like that's the closest that I ever get to lah.
And I feel that's very good if you can share that in any way, because then kids these days have the exposure in some way to know about other jobs outside of what their family talks about.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think that actually relates to somewhat the flow just seems suitable. The second question that we have, which is from the deep category, since we talk a lot about how like parents' way of parenting actually plays a huge role in like shaping children's ideas of life and what they perceive themselves or they perceive their surroundings to be. So like this question from the deep category is basically what's something you disagree with about the way you were raised.
So we're going deep first. Yeah, okay, great. It's good. It's good. So
Yeah, who wants to go first?
maybe I can go first. So I think it's the part where comparison comes into play, and I think like what we've agree commonly is like being raised in an Asian household. It is quite difficult. I mean, from my own experience, it was quite difficult growing up. Especially I'm the eldest child. There's a lot of expectations that comes with being an eldest child, and then if you add to that layer like comparison with like let's say your own peers, if you go to the same school with other people your age, and naturally Asian moms like they befriend your friends' moms and whatsoever. So I think what if I do raise my child in the future, it's something that I would disagree and I would wish to stop that tradition. Because I think comparison is a tricky one. If you start comparing your child to others, it's not only going to add a lot of pressure to them, it stops them from being themselves, I feel. Because maybe they are good in a something whatsoever, but if you start comparing, they might think that whatever they are is not good enough or there's something wrong with that. So, and I'm working in overseas now, right? So I mean, I'm not 100% sure how the children are being raised, but I do see the difference in the way I carry myself and the locals that carry themselves. So I can see like in some cases, I'm quite confident, I can say, like in ways like sharing my own opinions, but in some sort of way, because I've been compared growing up, I still feel like some of my opinions may not be good enough. So yeah, that is something that I would disagree with. Yeah, especially if you start being compared. Like I'm an eldest child, but I do hear stories where it's can be more difficult if you are a second child, or maybe even an only child. That might be more of a burden because you don't really have anyone to share that with. And let's say you're a second child or like the youngest child, you get compared with whatever achievements your older siblings do. So I think in this case, right, no child is wrong.
No
I think
child is safe.
no child is yeah, for sure. I think it's sad because hopefully the future, like the Asian mindset might change for the better. Because no child deserves to go through whatever traditions that been passed down. Yeah. What are your other thoughts?
I think I can relate to that because me myself, I'm the youngest child, and I have two other overachieving brothers that came before me, and then like I said, overachieving. So to me, to some extent, it does feel like if you don't at the very least achieve the same, you are not adequate enough. Yeah, and I feel like just now what you mentioned also, like that comparison with like other child from other families, but they have to sort of like take into consideration that people have different resources, they have different family values, they have different you know, like
Upbringings,
upbringing.
mindsets. Like,
So I think that itself is already a very unfair thing to do. And also within the same family, it's even, I mean, not to say it's worse, but it's like, it's equally not right to compare siblings against each other, because like we all are we have
Different-
individual personalities,
Yes.
and we have the individual strengths and weaknesses.
talents.
It's very unfair to sort of like expect everybody to be able to
Like carbon copy of each other.
yes, exactly. Just because we have similar environment or similar upbringing, I still feel like the individual preference, individual skill set stuff is still something that has to be taken into consideration, rather than thinking a stereotypical sort of expectation on siblings. Yeah, because I think even in school, people will look at us like, oh, you guys are siblings, right? You should at the very least be similar in terms of your interests, in terms of what you can achieve and this and that. I think with parents also, I think sometimes because there are 3 children in my family, sometimes even with 3 children, parents get confused. Who likes this and who likes that?
Oh no.
But generally, like the main key things is still like the results. They remember that the most, and then they'll be like, you know, you know, who somebody managed this. How can you manage anything less? Yeah.
Quick one. They still remember your names, right?
Of course.
Can
Maybe
never share.
sometimes they also confuse the name.
Yeah.
but yeah, you see, I'm from a 3-kid family. I think that's pretty okay and pretty common in Malaysia. But how about all those families that still have 8, 9, 10 children, which are a lot rarer in our country now, but they do still exist. Yeah. I can imagine that within the house, competition is so strong.
Okay, I think for me, I think my experience is a bit different from both of you, because growing up, my parents are pretty chill about my studies actually. So they I don't recall them actually comparing me to, you know, my friends or or my cousins, because I don't have any siblings. I'm the only child. But I don't think that's because I'm the only child. That's why they don't compare. But it's just naturally they are just a bit more chill. So they don't really compare. And I think growing up also, they never really worry about my studies or my achievement or anything. They just let me be. But probably also because like they know I'm
They trust that.
maybe like they know I have the discipline to, you know, at least try my best to do well in my studies and all those. And yeah, and also I think another thing about growing up as the only child is also because my parents probably didn't really understand how it works for me in school, like the school system, the exams, co-curriculum and everything, because I don't have an older sibling, so it was also the first time for them to experience having kids in, let's say, secondary school, and then how the school system works. They also didn't have a lot of experience, so I feel like it's probably because they didn't really have a benchmark to compare me to some other people, you know. So that was a good thing, but another side of it, maybe sometimes it does feel like when I need guidance, there was no one there to like share their experience with me. Yeah, so there are pros and cons lah. So, but if we're talking about something that I disagree about the way I was raised, I think for me it's probably the mindset that that you should try your best to avoid troubling other people. So I feel like my parents are someone like that. So like when they have any, like they face any issues or problem, they will always try their best to solve it themselves before getting help from other people. So growing up, I feel like even until now, I have this tendency of like, I'm probably not very good at asking for help, even when I need. So like now I try to, you know, keep telling myself like, oh yeah, sometimes it's okay to ask for help. Like it doesn't mean when you're asking for help, you're troubling other people. Sometimes people, they also genuinely want to help. So that's okay. But I think that one, it only started maybe after high school. Only I started to realize, oh, this mindset is actually not that healthy and I should change that. Yeah, that's for my part.
I think it's that, you know, that very communal way of life. Like for example, me and my friends and me and my neighbors last time, they're all very like, oh no, I'm kind of busy doing this. Can you help me with something else? And then it was just such a very natural exchange. It's like we always feel ready to just cover up for each other.
Yeah, which is why I feel like maybe when I was growing up, it feels like I didn't really have an environment like that lah. So yeah.
I think I wanted to add a bit on just now what you said about how parents which one? Oh, it's the part where you said like parents.
The help part is.
No, it's not though. What was the topic before that?
Comparing.
Oh, you guys don't have a benchmark.
Yeah.
So you also at the same time you felt like sometimes your parents can't give you like a guidance. But in my case, because I had two siblings that came before me, so they had all the experience doing research on like where the best tuition teacher is, what's the best way to do this, what's after high school, what's the route, and this and that. So on the bright side, that was something that I had growing up, because like the two brothers were basically, it's like 2 rounds of experimentation done, which is maybe also it translates to why parents would feel like, you know, the third child is always the we already we now have we have the richest information. So this is the third time we're doing this. It must be the most we are the most ready with this child.
Then I have a question, because I did hear like some people may not apply to you, but like might have some experience where if, let's say, the first or second child, the parents wasn't able to, like they weren't able to meet like the parents' expectations in terms of like if the parents wants them to be a lawyer or doctor, they kind of push it down and try to hope like the other child would be that. Do you ever face that?
Not really.
That's
Good thing because my eldest brother has gone on and become a doctor.
So they already achieved whatever expectation.
Better treat your brother yamcha.
But I feel like because like my parents didn't have the expectation on us in terms of like a career anyway. So like so long as we do something professional.
Professional is the benchmark.
So my brothers both end up becoming a doctor and an accountant. In fact, like I think my own career path now, my job title is so-called an associate economist at the moment. But then like it's never really somewhat expected. Not expected, but still good enough because it's professional.
Would you say then that has shaped you to want to be professional too? I think so. I think in the way you talked about it, right?
It's
like
harder
from artistic.
It's harder for me to want to do something that is not anything less. It's like I would fear wanting to venture into the creative industry as a full-time career, because I have been brought up in an environment that tells me that is a risky thing to do.
But then I'm just curious, like now that you know you have a professional career, and then but at the same time you also see maybe some of your peers, they are in the creative industry. So like let's say if you can rewind the time, would you like kind of wish that you have went on the other path
though? I think no. I think no, not really, to be honest. Because like now that I have a stable job, I'm financially stable. But I do think that I want more stability. I enjoy more stability. I don't know whether maybe this one has come from me having been raised in this environment in the first place, where stability comes first than anything else. I still think I now think that, you know, this is something that I prioritize over self-fulfillment or self-enthusiasm in the creative things that I like. But despite that, you know, I personally still try my best to find time so that I can venture into the small things that I like. For example, I sometimes paint, I sometimes go out and meet different people, all the other creative stuff that I wish I could venture into last time, I still do them as a side passion. So I don't lose out on that, but I still have my career, job, and stability, this and that.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's good that you're keeping the passion. Because I did hear someone speak about this, about if you have something that you're good at, make it your job. And if you have something you like, make it a hobby.
Yeah.
So I think that's what most of us are now.
Because it's gonna feel different when you do it like as a job, and then like your income depends on the thing that you do, and yeah, it kind of maybe it makes it feel like less fun compared to when you're actually just doing it for fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I think is also a lot of other factors like, let's say, the stability. I do 100% agree with Euan. I aim for stability because that gives me peace.
Yes.
If I don't have that, even how much I love the job, I might just, there's so much other things that I'm worrying about.
Yeah.
It's not going to be healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like personally, I also value stability and security a lot. So yeah, maybe that's another Asian mindset. You know?
I was going to say Asian. When he said that, right, stability, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
definitely Asian
like,
already.
all of us agree because we are all Asians.
Asian mole. Asian mole.
Yeah, then sometimes I'm not sure whether it's something to be proud of or like something that we really wish, having been raised a different way would have been the better case. I know there's no counterfactual.
Yeah.
There's no way we'll ever know. But this is how it is. We should just make the best out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that relates to our third question actually.
Rewind more about it.
Yeah, exactly. So the third one is, would you rather have a rewind or pause button on your life? I'll go first, alright? Yeah. I'll go first. I think what it's actually trying to ask is whether or not you miss your old life better, or like you enjoy your current life, that you don't mind living the life right now forever. I think for me is I would rather have a pause button, because I think sometimes now I look back and then I think about how back then I used to have a lot of, for example, I had a lot of time, I had a lot of innocence, I had a lot of friends because I see them in school and this and that. But at the same time, now I feel like I have gone through so much in the past that I am now in a phase in my life where I'm not only happy with myself, I'm also happy with like the things that I'm currently doing. I feel challenged every day, but it's in a healthy way. So if I can, and then I've also, since starting to work, I've also made my own money, where I feel like I'm a bit more independent in terms of that, where I don't need to ask money from people and I can afford small things that I like. Yeah, so it's kind of like I don't earn a lot, but I live by my means, and comparing to like my past life, I will feel like, yeah, I think current phase of my life is pretty good, because many things that I want to do, I can still do.
For me, is there an option to just continue life?
It's either you pause or you rewind.
So you don't like the past and you don't like the current?
No. I think pause as in, does that mean like you stay at where you are now and then
just take a break, like pause?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, depends on how you interpret pause, right?
If I'm going to interpret it, I would say paused and then not rewind like Euan, because I am who I am today with whatever I've been through.
Yes. Exactly.
And pause, I would hope to take it as like a break, to just like tune in with myself and enjoy the present.
Enjoy the moment.
Yes, because I think I've always been someone that's such a planner, and okay, I'm not going to blame this on the Asian house. It's definitely part of the upbringing.
I think so.
It's definitely, thank you for validating. But I've learned, right? So I've learned that I should be, be more gentle with myself, and I've learned to enjoy the present and not stressed out about if things doesn't go my way, or I have that whole plan for myself. If it doesn't, it's fine. It doesn't mean that I'm not good enough, or it doesn't mean that I have less potential than what my parents or whoever thinks so. It just means that God is redirecting me to the journey that I should be meant to go on. And I won't rewind, like I say, because whatever that I've been through, I feel that it was supposed to happen. And if I were to go back, that's going to shape me differently, and I wouldn't want to change anything about it.
Yeah. I think I agree with that a lot, because like what you say, what we went through actually shaped who we are today. That's something that I believe since a very long time ago. So I always feel like I won't want to rewind time, and that's because I don't know. Every time when I see this question, I will ask myself, do I like who I am today? If I like who I am today, what's the point of rewinding back to change things in the past? Because if things have changed in the past, you might not be who you are today. So as long as you're happy with who you are today, then the past shouldn't matter, because it brings you where you are now. Yeah. So even though, of course, there are still things in the past that I feel like, oh, I could have done better. But anyway, I ended up here and I like who I am today. So there's no point going back and change that. Yeah. And so for that question, I would still choose to pause instead of rewind. So pause because the most simple reason is just because
You're happy.
yeah, I'm happy, and at the same time also because I just feel like ever since I started working, I feel like I really 24 hours a day is not enough. So what if I can pause time and then like especially my work part, sometimes when I was working, when I'm working, I would just feel like, oh, why do I have so many things to do and so little time? So why not I just pause the time so that I can get more things done in a day, So yeah, that's one reason. And of course also because currently I'm actually quite happy with where I am now. So the pausing part is also maybe to pause some some happy memories, some good memories. Like there were moments that sometimes when things happen and I would really think like, wow, it would be good if this moment can last longer. So that's also when I would feel like, oh, I want to pause that moment. Yeah.
That's so interesting that we interpret it differently. Like I pause because just tune in with myself. But for you, it's like, oh, this moment I'm content with this moment. I just want to make it last. Can we just pause this?
Yeah, I think quite true also lah. Like, and I mean, regardless of how we interpret it, this is a free open question anyway. And I love the fact that like what Ying said just now lah. Like, I think another maybe an extended question would be like whether or not you are happy with who you are today. I think for me is like I said earlier, I'm actually quite happy who I am, and like I'm very happy in the sense where I am in terms of mindset also lah, because I'm able to let go a lot of things that I used to not be able to forgive myself for, or like I wasn't able to sort of see it through. But nowadays I'm more like, it happens, then it happens lah. What more can we do? Why not just move on and do something else? So I'm a lot easier on myself. Like, I think maybe a bit like Patricia. Yeah, so I really like the current self, and I am driven for the things I want. I work hard, and I look forward to small or things that I'm excited about. Yeah, and that keeps people moving. Yeah, we all need some excitement in our life sometimes.
Yeah, agree. It's like the small things that brings happiness is what truly matters.
Yeah.
Because it keeps you going in life. Yeah.
Keeps you feeling alive.
And fulfilled. Yeah.
That it sounds so much like the Lana Del Rey song.
It's like we are living and not just being alive.
I think to answer Yua's question on whether I'm happy, I think I'm content because life is never always like happy every day.
Yeah.
I think that's why we need to go through the bad days to appreciate the good days more. And maybe content would be a better word for my case. It's like life has been like chaotic recently. There's just so much going on, and me working and studies, I'm working towards qualifying. But I am content and very proud, I would say, very proud of who I am today, because the me a year ago is so different to the me now. I've gone through a lot of experiences and I would never exchange it for another life. Yeah, that's from me.
Yeah.
So maybe that sounds like, I think looking back 1 year ago, I think the 1 year ago me wouldn't have expected where I am now also. But I think maybe a bit more meaningful for us to do, since we're doing this podcast, right? It should be maybe one message to the you 1 year from now, what would it be?
1 year from now. 1 year
Yeah,
from now.
because we know that life is very unpredictable, and like we are growing every day, and we are fighting to grow, fighting to survive, fighting to be a better person every day. So like we're so used to wanting to leave a message for people, as for ourselves 1 year ago. Why not now? We should send a message to our
future
future
self.
selves 1 year from now.
We can play this back, yeah. May 12, 2026.
1 year from now, where will I be?
Dear Patricia, I hope you're enjoying your trip in Korea.
Oh,
I do actually plan to go to Korea and Japan next year. I'm saving up for that. Yeah.
Well, I guess for me, I don't know. I think for me, it's just to tell myself that I don't know, maybe sometimes work might get a bit like hectic and busy, and like at the moment currently, I'm in my current position for like almost 3 years, but I'm not sure what's next in my career. Like, do I change department? Do I not? But I feel like regardless of where am I 1 year from now, I should just tell myself that like never lose yourself. Like no matter how busy you are or like what job you're doing, like your career doesn't really define you. So just don't lose yourself along the way. Yeah.
I think for me, because maybe this past year it has always been like me battling with me, finding it challenging at work, where I have to learn a lot of things, where I have to continuously upskill myself and this and that. So I think maybe 1 year from now, knowing that one more year of that, 1 more year of me continuously upskilling myself is going to bring me a lot of growth. So I think I can just hope that, the future me will continue being resilient, never be comfortable with where I am, continue challenging what I'm presented with, rather than, don't feel scared, and like it's never gonna end, but we're gonna do it like it's a roller coaster ride. It's gonna be so much fun, and don't allow yourself to give out on the other side passion that you have as well.
Yeah, that's really important.
To me, I feel like to my future self, I hope you are grounded, like more grounded with yourself. Because like for the past 1 year, it was a healing journey for me, and I'm very happy where I am now. And I think I can't wait to fall in love more with myself, just to get to know more about what I really want. Because I've always been someone, maybe a people pleaser in some way. Like I've always put others first, but in the past few months, I've been asking myself, what do I want? Like, I think in my mindset, I'm so much healthier with myself. I like this, where if I don't like something, I stop and pause and ask, what do you want? It's not about what other people might react or might feel from your actions, but what do you truly want? So I can see like my actions are based on that now instead of how it was before. So to my future self, I hope you're more grounded, and if life throws you a lot of things, which it always does, and I hope you always return to yourself, no matter what. Return to yourself, and there will always be a solution. It might not be clear at the moment, but it doesn't mean that, things are like it's the end of the world. There will always be a solution, and don't be afraid to reach out. I've always been quite scared. I think I'm really good at hiding things. Like if I'm not feeling happy, I still show that I'm really positive, but deep inside, I hope in that 1 year you've learned to just, let things down, let your guards down. It's okay to be more vulnerable. Yeah, it's for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, after all, 1 year late, 1 year from now, just let's all continue being ourselves, continue fighting for what we want and what is right.
And be a better you.
Be a better you. Yeah. Remember to tune in to Better You podcast by Patricia.
Stay soon.
All right. So we have spoken for 45 minutes. and it was a really fun session. All right, so do stay tuned for more episodes. Maybe like this, maybe not like this. Who knows? Thank you so much for tuning in if you're still listening now.
Thank you. Give your like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.
Bye to both podcasts, yeah? Expansive Thoughts and Better You.
Okay, Ying, you start one soon, yeah?
I'll think
1 year
about
later,
it.
1 year later.
I'll think about it.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.